Hello strong shorties, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about how much you should be training throughout the week in order to grow your glutes. Is it 2 times per week? Is it 5 times per week? Is it 3 times per week? We are going to get into the details in this video, so just please stay tuned. First off, if you don't know me, I am a certified personal trainer, certified nutrition coach. I am a former physical therapy assistant, and I have 7 years experience of helping people improve their lifestyle through movement. I also am dedicated to helping women feel strong and confident in the gym, build muscle, and lose fat with the latest and most up-to-date research in training and nutrition. Okay, so in order to get started, let's rewind a little bit. So in the beginning of my own fitness journey, I was super confused about how often I needed to train and how many days a week I needed to go to the gym. I thought that in order to make progress of any kind and to build a dream physique, I had to go 5 times a week because that's what I saw all of these influencers do. And for me personally, it just didn't really work. I was too time poor to actually get to the gym that frequently on a consistent basis. So sometimes I would hit 5 times a week. Other times I would go 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times, 2 times, you guys get the picture. And I know a lot of you are actually in the same boat. The good news for you is that you don't actually have to train 5 days a week in order to build your glutes or create that nice lean hourglass figure. And I'll be telling you exactly how in this video, so don't go anywhere. Okay, so back in the day, I would piece together a lot of different kind of influencer splits. Mind you, I was a beginner trying to copy someone with 5 years, 7 years, 10 years experience above me. That actually makes a huge difference whenever you're selecting your exercises, whenever you're looking at the intensity, and whenever you're looking at how many times you train per week. For example, I wasn't ready to do a Bulgarian split squat, let alone try to add weight onto it. But it is what I saw in a lot of fitness influencers' workouts, and so naturally I copied what their workout was. I could not do a full range of motion Bulgarian split squat, and I had no business trying to hold on to weights while I was doing it because I couldn't even get full range of motion. I simply wasn't strong enough at that time to perform that exercise that well. On top of that, I was suffering with this exercise. I absolutely hated this exercise. And the problem is whenever you are suffering in your workouts, it makes you not want to train. It literally makes you not want to go back to the gym at all because you have such a strong negative association with the gym and training. We don't want training to be that hard. And yes, there is a difference between being able to push yourself and feel effort and achieve at some times in your program close to failure, if not failure, but you don't want to feel like you are dying every single exercise, every single workout. You do not want to be quite that miserable. It just simply makes you not want to come back and not want to train. The greater problem with following influencer workouts is, of course, the total volume influencers are doing or were doing in general. When you read their workouts in their description, 4 sets of squats, 4 sets of leg press, 3 sets of split squats, 3 sets of walking lunges, 4 sets of hip thrusts. It never effing ends, you guys. For reference, all of these exercises do target the glutes, and this workout that I just described is a total of 18 sets per the glutes in one workout. So imagine trying to repeat that 2 days and sometimes even 3 days a week. This can lead to a huge fear of actually getting to the gym. You know that you are going to be spending a long time in the gym in order to complete all of those exercises. That makes you definitely not want to go. It's hard to push yourself in any single exercise because you know that you have so many exercises coming up that you're just trying to get through your workout. So you're trying to do everything as fast as you can, which may promote you not really performing the exercise to the best of your ability, nor pushing your intensity to the best that you can, which over time will lead to lackluster results, but also you expending a lot of time just to get to the gym and just to work out And for most people, is like the biggest constraint in the gym trying to get your dream figure. So if you feel like you are having to do so much volume, push yourself insanely hard, and your exercises are, those that you absolutely dread and you hate them because you are suffering so much whenever you're performing them, you're like, fuck that, and you give up, you move on. You're like, this isn't for me. But I do have amazing news for you. The topics that I'm about to discuss come from research that is looking at training volumes specifically for muscle growth, and an interview with Dr. Brad Shoenfeld, who is a leading researcher for muscle growth. I will link the studies and this interview in the description box below so you can take a look-see in your own time. First, let's get the idea that the days that you are training in your week is not important. It is really not. What is important to think about is the weekly volume that you are doing for your muscle groups that you are trying to really grow and see a big difference in. But we also want to consider the muscle groups that you're not as keen on growing, or maybe you're happy with that growth already. So we consider this maintenance volume. Most research is pointing to the ability to grow a muscle group with about 10 to 20 sets per week. Yes, you guys, you heard that right, in a single week. So remember that example I gave from earlier, that workout was 18 sets in one day. So imagine if that person was doing the 18 sets times 2 or times 3, that is far and beyond general training volume that we actually need to grow muscle. There are outliers to this rule, of course, but these are really great general guidelines for most people to follow. So let's get a little bit deeper into muscle growth. In this specific study looking at untrained women, researchers were able to see growth in the calves in as little as 6 sets. 6, you guys. They did see a little bit more growth with 12 sets. However, the researchers are calling this an insignificant difference. So if you are a true beginner, you already may be able to build muscle well and effectively using as little as 6 sets in a week for that specific muscle group. You're not gonna get a huge badonkadonk in 10 weeks. It takes much more time to build significant muscle mass, but you will definitely be on your way. If you are a little bit more trained, then you might already wanna start off at that 10 to 12 sets per week mark. Now, there are absolutely differences in people due to genetics, and Dr. Shoenfeld specifically points this out, and he has a couple studies that were able to demonstrate that some people absolutely respond very well to low training volume. So essentially, they can touch a weight and just blow up. So think of maybe some of your fitness influencers who have really, really great glutes. Some of them have really good genetics that are helping them grow their glutes quite effectively with maybe not too much volume. Half of the population within the study itself needed higher training volumes in order to see progress and to see growth. So yes, some people have the short end of the stick, let's say, and that they do need higher training volumes to experience muscle growth. So yeah, some people honestly have an advantage with their genetics. So how do you know which one you are and where you should start? And it's definitely not a simple answer. I would recommend if you are a beginner, you are very new to training, just start out on that lower end of volume. So let's say you have a goal to grow your glutes, start out with about 6 sets per week, stick with that volume for probably 8 to 10 to 12 weeks. And then if you feel like you just really aren't responding, then maybe you can increase that volume a little bit to 10 sets per week. If you are a bit more trained, then you could probably already start off at the 10 sets to 12 sets per week. If you are a very trained individual, then I would play around with starting off at the 10 to 12 weekly volume, and over a couple program cycles, increasing that up to maybe 15, 18, and maybe up to 20 sets if needed. And I would especially do this in specific growth phases where you are timing this like increase in volume with a small calorie surplus to help you really put on muscle mass. You've never tried to do a small calorie surplus while resistance training, it is something you might want to think about. So if you're constantly just trying to add volume in order to grow your glutes, you may be spinning your wheels if you are just kind of under eating. It might be beneficial to you to stop increasing the volume so high. So don't do 30 sets per week per your glutes. Maybe bring it down to 12, 15 sets per week and time it with a gentle calorie surplus and see if that helps you grow your bump. This is exactly what I did in my past like growth cycle, is that I went through a bulk and I really only trained my glutes up to about 15 sets per week. And I saw really good gains because I was bulking. I had the nutrition side paired in tandem so that my training volume wasn't going to waste. I wasn't like spinning my wheels. Okay, you guys, let's break this up so it's just a bit easier to understand. I'm going to average the volume I'm recommending to, let's just say 12 sets for someone who's been training for a little while. Whenever I'm training my glutes specifically, I like to break them up into hip hinge movements and hip abduction movements. So we're hitting both the glute max and also the glute medius. The glute medius really helps add shape to that upper glute and adds roundness to your glutes. So it's very important to hit. If I have 12 sets, I'm gonna break that up into 6 sets of a hip hinge and 6 sets of a hip abduction movement within 1 week time frame. The next thing I need to decide is how many days can I actually work out and be consistent with that many days. Most of my journey has been training consistently 3 times per week. So I need 6 sets of a hip hinge and 6 sets of a hip abduction split across 3 different days. And this is an example. This is exactly what this could look like. So on day 1 is 2 sets of hip thrusts and 3 sets of a seated hip abduction. On day 2, maybe I'm just going to do 2 sets of walking lunges. And then day 3, I'm doing 2 sets of a barbell RDL and 3 sets of a cable kickback at 45 degrees. You see how different that volume is compared to the example I gave you earlier with like 4 sets of squats, 4 sets of leg press, 3 sets of walking lunges, etc., etc. I am only doing 1 to 2 exercises per the glutes in a single workout, and this volume equates to 12 sets. If I'm a little bit more advanced and I do need a little bit more volume, it is very easy with this type of program to just add in a set where I need to in order to increase the total volume. So maybe on day 1, I would do 3 sets of hip thrusts or 4 sets of hip thrusts. And I already have 14 sets in a week just from adding the 2 sets. So this looks a lot different from that example influencer program that I gave earlier. And that is something that I've absolutely seen influencers do time and time and time again. They are like doing an insane amount of volume. You don't need to do that much volume. Whew. Okay, so we know approximately what glute growth volume could look like. Once you've built up a decent amount of muscle mass, you don't have to do the same amount of volume in order to hold on to that muscle mass. This is amazing. This is like some of the best news you guys are ever gonna hear whenever it comes to training and building muscle. So Shoenfeld actually describes younger trainees being able to retain the muscle mass that they've built. They took about 27 sets in a week to build it. In order to maintain their size and their muscle mass, they only had to do 3 sets per week to maintain that physique. That's crazy. What does that mean for you? Well, it certainly means that once you have developed enough muscle somewhere and you're happy with that development, you can simply reduce the training volume for that muscle group. This can be beneficial for you in the long term because it will help keep your workouts short. I'm gonna use myself as an example. I spent a year or so really targeting my shoulders and my back. And I'm super, super happy with the development that I've created here. And so now I don't need to do as much volume for my shoulders and my back anymore. Instead, I can put these muscle groups just a little bit on the back burner, reduce the total volume, and instead now replace some of that volume and hit my arms, like hit my biceps and my triceps. I can increase the volume that I'm doing just a little bit for my biceps and my triceps, but I'm still spending about the same amount of time in the gym because I'm not tackling on extra volume. I'm swapping it out. Swap, swap. Okay, you guys, if you want a free program to grow your glutes and build that lean hourglass figure, and it takes all of this training volume and exercise selection into account so you don't have to think about it. You also only have to go to the gym 3 times a week, and your workouts are only about 30 to 45 minutes on average. If you want that for free, I will link that in my description box below. If you want to level up and use the app version, that comes with video demonstrations so you understand exactly what exercise you're supposed to be doing and how to perform it. It comes with notes from me, and of course you have the ease of always having your program in your pocket. I'm offering 6 months of training for just $45. You guys, that is crazy. Most app subscriptions are charging you $20 to $30 per month. I am offering this for $45, just a one-time fee, and this is for 6 months. This is for the first 50 people who sign up. I'm trying to make training as accessible as possible to as many of you as I can. So this is a really, really great deal. If you are interested in building your glutes and creating that hourglass figure, it's easy peasy to join, and there are no extra fees for downloading the app or anything like that. That will also be in the description box below. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a like so that I can produce more quality videos for you guys and really help give you the education and the realness around fitness, nutrition, and training. Okay, you guys, that is it for me today. I will catch you in another video.